Welcome back to Old Coins History, the channel where we dig into the stories behind the coins we use every day. Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover the secrets of the 2002 Jefferson Nickel. This isn't just a story about mint marks and die varieties. This is the story of a nation looking back at its history, a sudden shift in coinage design, and the fascinating errors that make collectors swoon. So, let's get our magnifiers ready and dive in. To understand why the 2002 nickel is so special, we need a bit of context. From 1938 to 2003, the Jefferson nickel featured a rather static design. Felix Schlag's portrait of Jefferson and his Monticello home on the reverse were iconic, but, let's be honest, a little boring. But in the early 2000s, a problem emerged. The cost of producing a nickel was starting to creep uncomfortably close to its face value. This is a mint's nightmare. But more pressingly, there was a growing push to honor the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition, the legendary Corps of Discovery, that opened up the American West. So, in a brilliant move, the U.S. Mint decided to kill two birds with one stone. They launched the Westward Journey Nickel series. This was a multi-year program that would temporarily replace the Monticello reverse with new designs commemorating the expedition and the Louisiana Purchase. And the kickoff year for this historic change? You guessed it, 2002 is unique because it's the only year in the entire Jefferson series where you can find two completely different reverse designs in your pocket change. Let's break them down. From January to mid-2002, the Mint released this stunning design. It features a rendition of the peace medal that President Thomas Jefferson presented to Native American tribes during the expedition. The central design is a clasped hands motif, one with a military cuff symbolizing the American government, and the other with a silver bracelet representing the native tribes. Above the hands is a crossed pipe and a tomahawk. This design is rich with symbolism, representing the hope for peace and trade. On the edge, you'll see the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 5 cents. Crucially, it still has Liberty and the date on the front, or obverse, with Jefferson. Later in the year, the Mint switched to this even more dynamic design. This depicts the keelboat that Lewis and Clark used to travel upstream on the Missouri River. You can see the crew, the sail, and the incredible detail in the boat itself. It's a miniature masterpiece. The inscriptions are the same, but the feel is completely different. It's all about adventure and movement. So, right off the bat, every 2002 nickel is a piece of this historic transition. But the value starts to climb when we look at the mint marks. Notice anything? The Philadelphia minted keelboat nickel has the lowest mintage of the four main circulation strikes. In the world of collecting, lower mintage often equals higher demand and value. In uncirculated condition, a 2002 P keelboat nickel can easily be worth $1 to $3, and that's for a regular, well-struck coin. That's a 2,000% to 6,000% increase over face value, but wait, we're just getting started. The real treasures, the coins that can be worth $50, $100, or more, are the errors and the varieties. This is the one. The error that every nickel hunter dreams of finding. I'm talking about the legendary 2002 D speared bison error. On the keelboat reverse, look closely at the shoulder of the crew member who is pushing the pole at the front of the boat. On a normal coin, his arm and the pole are clean. But on the error variety, a huge, raised gouge of metal extends from his shoulder down his back, looking exactly like a spear or a harpoon has struck him. This wasn't a design element. It was a die gouge, a deep scratch in the master die used to strike the coins. This flaw was then transferred onto thousands of coins before the Mint noticed and corrected it. So, what's it worth? A lot. A circulated 2002 D speared bison nickel can fetch $30 to $60. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint state condition, MS 60 or higher, you're looking at $100 to $200 or more. This is, without a doubt, the king of modern Jefferson nickel errors. But the fun doesn't stop there. Keep an eye out for these other 2002 varieties. 1. The extra leaf piece metal asterisk on the piece metal reverse, some coins have a extra, die-gouge line on the oak leaf below the R in pluribus, making it look like the leaf has an extra vein. This can add a $5 to $20 premium point too. The missing edge lettering asterisk, a very rare error where the coin's edge lettering is incomplete or missing. This is a major error and can be worth over $100. And we can't forget the San Francisco proof coins. These were sold in sets to collectors and have a pristine, mirror-like finish. A standard 2002 S proof set containing both designs might be worth $10-$15. But the real value is in the silver proof sets. In 2002, the Mint also issued proof coins struck in .900 fine silver. These are much heavier, have a different sound, and a beautiful white luster. A single 2002 S silver proof nickel can be worth $15 to $25 on its own. So, how do you become a nickel millionaire? Well, maybe not a millionaire, but you can certainly find some fantastic value. Here's your action plan. 1. Get a roll *, go to your bank and ask for a box of nickels. It's a cheap and fun way to hunt. 2. Sort by date and mint *, separate all your 2002 nickels. Immediately check if they are piece metal or keelboat designs. 3. Inspect the keelboats * for every 2002 D keelboat nickel, get out your magnifying glass or use your phone's camera zoom. Look at that front crew member. Do you see the spear? If you do, you've just hit the jackpot. 4. Grade is key *, a coin's condition is everything. Look for coins with full detail, no scratches, and original luster. The 2002 nickel is a perfect storm for collectors. It's a first-year issue of a landmark series, it has low mintage keys, and it features one of the most dramatic and valuable error varieties of the 21st century. It bridges the gap between a common circulating coin and a coveted collectible. 5 cents. It's almost forgotten today, the coin we throw in a jar or leave on the counter. But for centuries, this small denomination was a powerhouse of everyday commerce. Its story is a roller coaster of wild speculation, desperate shortages, political wrangling, and artistic expression. This is the history of the American nickel. It's not just the story of a coin, it's the story of a young nation figuring out its identity, one 5-cent piece at a time. Welcome to Numismatic Notebook. Before there was a nickel, there was the half-dime. Pronounced half-dime, it was one of the first coins produced by the United States Mint, authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792. These tiny coins were made of silver for over 60 years, from the days of George Washington through the Civil War. The half-dime was the workhorse 5-cent piece. But then, war changed everything. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, caused massive hoarding of gold and silver. All coinage, including the half-dime, vanished from circulation almost overnight. America entered a period of desperate change shortage. People started using postage stamps for small transactions, and the government was forced to issue fractional currency paper notes in denominations as low as 3 cents. It was an awkward and fragile system. The country needed a new, durable, and inexpensive coin to get commerce moving again. The solution was a new coin made of a copper-nickel alloy. This was no accident. The man who lobbied heavily for the use of nickel was Joseph Warton, a powerful industrialist who owned one of the few nickel mines in the United States. He literally had a metal to sell. In 1866, the Shield nickel was born. It was the first 5-cent coin to be made of a copper-nickel alloy, giving us the name nickel that we still use today. Its design featured a large shield on the obverse and the number 5 surrounded by rays on the reverse. There was a problem, though. The rays on the reverse made the coin difficult to strike properly, causing excessive die wear. After just 1 year, the mint removed the rays, creating 2 distinct varieties. The 1866–67 with rays, nickels are key dates for collectors today. As America entered the Gilded Age, the coinage got a makeover. In 1883, chief engraver Charles Barber introduced the Liberty Head nickel. It featured a classic profile of Liberty on the front and a large Roman numeral, V45 on the back. And this coin launched one of the most famous scams in numismatic history. The first version of the coin, known as the 1883 no-cents nickel, did not have the word cents on it. It was a similar size to a $5 gold piece, and unscrupulous people gold-plated the nickels and tried to pass them off as $5 coins. Only 5 specimens were ever minted, and they were produced under mysterious circumstances, almost certainly without official authorization. For decades, they were the Holy Grail of American coin collecting. One famously sold for over $3.7 million. If you find one in your attic, you've won the numismatic lottery. In the early 1900s, President Theodore Roosevelt pushed for more beautiful, elevated U.S. coinage. This led to the Buffalo nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser. It was a radical departure, celebrating iconic American themes. The obverse featured a composite portrait of 3 Native American chiefs. The reverse featured an American bison, modeled after Black Diamond, in the Central Park Zoo. It was a masterpiece of coin design. But it had a major flaw. The design was too bold. The date, placed on a high point of the coin, wore away quickly in circulation. Finding a Buffalo nickel with a full, readable date is a challenge for collectors to this day. In 1938, to mark the 200th anniversary of Thomas Jefferson's birth, the Mint held a public competition for a new nickel design. The winner was a German-born artist, Felix Schlag. His obverse featured a dignified portrait of Jefferson in left profile. The reverse depicted his iconic Virginia home, Monticello. The Jefferson nickel was born, and it would become one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Its run was not without drama. During World War II, nickel was a critical war material for making armor plate. So, from mid-1942 to 1945, the composition was changed to an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. These wartime silver nickels are easily identified by their large mint mark, P, D, or S, placed above the dome of Monticello. They contain a precious metal and are highly collectible. For 66 years, the design remained largely unchanged. But as we explored in our last video, 2004 marked the beginning of a new era. The Westward Journey series, 2004 to 2005, and later the return to Monticello design in 2006 gave the nickel its first major facelift in over half a century. The modern nickel, first released in 2006, features a new, more dynamic portrait of Jefferson by Jamie Franke, based on the 1800 Rembrandt Peale painting. The reverse still features Monticello, but with more refined detail. Today, the nickel stands at a crossroads. Once again, the cost of its metal often exceeds its face value, sparking debates about its future. Should we change its composition? Should we retire it altogether, from a tiny silver half-dime to a symbol of the Wild West, to a wartime hero and a modern canvas for American history? The nickel has had a journey unlike any other.